Okay, so we're going to be working on the relay part of the reef-pi, the 8-channel relay, and I'm just going to go over really quickly what you need. Mostly, it might not cover everything, but it'll be almost all-inclusive. All right, so you obviously need a relay. Depending on which one you want to do, you can do the 4-channel or the 8-channel. This one's the 8. You're going to need your sockets, and these are just the kind of standard $2 sockets. They actually make some that are like 68 cents, but they only had a 4-gang that had this square style, so I had to get the more expensive ones. So just keep that in mind. And I went to Home Depot to get the sockets and stuff. And you're gonna need one of these 4-gang electrical boxes. You're gonna need some of these. I call them pigtails. I don't know what the real name is for them. Wing twist wire connectors. And I have one of these, which I'm gonna use to just make unplugging and plugging it a little bit easier, and it also has a fuse in it. So it's a 10 amp fuse, and these are 15 amp, so the fuse is definitely gonna blow before these get damaged. I also have a bunch of wire, and this is a 14 gauge wire. And I don't know if you can read on there, but it's basically rated for 600 volts, and so it's probably a little bit overkill for what we're doing here, but almost all the other builds online have you use a 14 gauge wire. So just to start off, let's make sure everything is in order. So the way I like to do this is I like to get my faceplate, and I like to arrange my stuff on it. So I'm gonna put them all facing this way. So on these, by the way, you'll see there's gold, silver, and green. And it goes, you know, the live, ground, neutral, or common, I think. And I'm by no way an electrician, so, you know, make sure all of this is good and up to electrical codes. I don't want to be blamed for anything. So, yeah, but we're also gonna be using these quick inserts. Most of the online builds don't, and I don't know why they don't use them. They're really handy. So we're gonna put these in like this, and the relay is going to eventually sit on top like this, and then we'll put it inside of our gang, and then we are going to cut a hole. I kind of marked a space out in it. We're going to cut a hole in here so it goes, I don't know if you can see that, but we're going to cut a hole so that goes in there, so it's all contained in one little area. And this seems like one of the safer ways to do it. I've seen a lot of other people online do it, and it's just not, I don't know. I have a newborn son, and I'm worried about electrocution all the time. So I'm just gonna try and get it all contained. All right, so first things first, because we wanna do an 8-channel relay and not a 4-channel relay, we're gonna have to modify these so we can actually get 8 channels out of them, because right now if we were to hook it up, it would actually be a 4-channel relay. It'd be 8 channels, but they'd only control 4 switches. So we're gonna go to these gold ones, and we're gonna take out these, if you can see it, see there's a little thing right there. And so we're gonna take that out, and all you gotta do to take that out is get some needle nose pliers and take it off, okay? So I'm gonna do that real quick, and I'm also gonna get some wires set up, and we'll go from there. That when I did this for the first time, it was a little bit scary, because I'm like, how do I do this? So I'm just gonna show you real quick how to take one of these tabs off, all right? It's kind of common sense, but then again, you never know, right? So you just go in, I wiggle it, and it comes right off, see? It's off, cool. All right, so I'm gonna do this to all of these, make sure they're all oriented properly, and we'll go from there. Let's just get this. All right, so you see these have 3 wires. The power goes in the middle one of the 3 for each, okay? It's kind of confusing, well, at least it was to me. So there's 2, so you see these little breaks. So there's 2 relays for each one of these little breaks, and 3 of them go to a relay. And the middle one is where we're gonna put the power, and the one on the left is where we're going to hook the live in from the outlet into here. So what we're gonna end up doing is, so gold is live, right? So we're gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They'll all go into these, 1, 2, 3, 4, you know. And then we're going to daisy chain the white ones. So we're gonna do a white to white, then we'll do a white to white, then we'll do a white to white. And then we'll get the white on this side, and this will eventually go to the power source. Oh, sorry. We'll do the white on this side, and this will eventually go to the power source. And then we're gonna get this, just a long piece of copper cable, and we'll wrap it around this one, daisy chain it to this one, this one, this one to go to the power source. Okay, and then we'll put it on here, and what's gonna end up happening is we got a bunch of this red wire, and they're gonna go in, I guess kind of at this angle. They'll all go in to these, and then from there, we're gonna end up pigtailing them, or wire connecting them all together, and eventually they'll go to a single wire, which will be the lead, which will go onto this, which will crimp on to this one. So we've got our ground, we've got our live, and our common. Or neutral, whatever. Can you read that? So yeah. All right, so I'll start doing that, and we'll go from there. I've got this wired up, going white to white, white to white, white to white, and I just moved this one diagonally so I could have this one closer for when I make the connection to this, okay? And then I've got these black ones all set up. So I've got this relay now. I'm just gonna fit it in as best I can. And these have to work some of them in. And anyway, so once most are in, oh, it looks like it still needs to go in. Then we'll just tighten the screws down and secure the relay. So once all that's in there, you want to make sure as little of the wires is exposed as possible, because that will be a live wire. But then once that's done, we're going to get these and we are going to wire them up, and then we'll just eventually pigtail them, and then we'll wire this guy up. All right, so I got crunched for time and couldn't do the video, but essentially once that's wired, I just put it all together and I hooked up the GPIO pins, don't forget to do that, and wired them out through one of the slots, and it's pretty straightforward. Okay, so when you get into reef-pi, it's going to look something like this. And in order to set up the relays properly, you need to go into configuration, then you need to go into connectors, and see, I've set mine up already, but all you have to do is hit this plus button that's over the outlets. You give it a name like heater, and you say what pin you're going to use, and whether, so this reverse means whether you did it as a normally on or normally closed connection. The way that I did it, in order to make it work the way you would think, you need to hit this reverse button. And to find the pin number, so here's the Raspberry Pi Zero pinout. So I used all the ones on this right side. So I used this 5 volt, this ground, and then I used these 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And so the pin number would be 14, 15, 18, 23, 24, 25, and so on. So once you have your connectors set up, then you need to go into equipment, and you can add your equipment. I added just 8 test equipment, and I don't know if you can hear that, it's very subtle, but I can actually hear my relay going on and off. All right, and then if, let's say, we wanted to add a timer to it, we could add a timer. We can say, you know, day timer. For equipment, we can choose our equipment action. We want to turn it on at a certain time of day. He's actually got a pretty good documentation on how to do this thing, and then you can say, so every day I want to set it, you know, at this hour, minute, second to tell it to go on. And that would add your timer. I didn't put in the information, so can't add it, but and then this just shows you on the dashboard what equipment is currently on or off. So mine's currently all off, it says. And that's about it as far as relays go. Okay, so I just want to give a quick rundown of what I did and prove that it's working. So we've got the 8-channel relay inside of a 4-gang, and inside, I have a connector that wires up power that's got a 10 amp fuse in it, and it's just got a little 3-prong connector so I can unplug it and make it portable as needed. And then I hooked up my GPIOs to the relay and just brought it out here. And it's connected to my Raspberry Pi. All right. And just to show the working product, if I go over to my reef-pi software and I click, it works. And it works on all of them. I've tested it. I'm not going to prove it to you. It's just a waste of time. But that's how you set up the relays. I hope I provided enough information. I know a lot of it was scarce. It's been hard trying to get this footage, get it all together. I've got a new baby, and you know, I can't do things super thoroughly at the moment. So you're gonna just have to forgive me on that one. But I hope this was informative and helps you build a reef-pi. So before we finish, I just wanted to add another optional type of build. This was actually my first build that I did of this, and for those of you that do not like working with, you know, small spaces and lots of electrical wires and stuff, this might be a little more optimal. So these are just 4 single gang outlets. It's a different style too. Are the 2 circles instead of the big rectangle. It's cheaper, by the way. And then I just have, I don't even know what this is called, but it's like where you put a union or whatever. So I've got everything, so all of my whites are wired together, and all of my grounds are wired together, and then all of the individual blacks come out here, and then I can just hook up the power source and the relay to that. And then all of my wiring and such, is in this area where I can do most of my pigtails. And these, there's not a whole lot in here. So it's just another way to do it if you're not super big on saving space. There's probably other ways to optimize this build. I'm really disappointed that there's not a whole lot of stuff out there already for pre-made 5-volt relay surge protectors. Hopefully, I put in a thing to Alibaba to see how much it would cost to manufacture them, because it just seems like something like the maker community really needs. I know that Adafruit has one, but it's only 2 outlets and it's $25, and you know, the parts for all of this or for the other one is, you know, about the same amount. So it's, you know, 3 or 4 times cheaper still to do it yourself, which should not be the case. I mean, they should have stuff like this already made that's like 25 bucks. Anyway, there's my rant. I'll see you in the next video.